everyone, and welcome to Zeepkist Cup of the Day. For those of you who don't know how this works, we get 10 minutes to practice a map we have never seen before, after which there will be 2-minute elimination rounds where the slowest players get eliminated. This week we've got a map by DeeDeeNaNaNa. I usually like DD maps, so very much looking forward to what we have today. Yeah, pretty standard so far. Looks like just a normal smooth steering map from DD. Uh-oh. The track goes that way. Got our weekly Is This the Map from Quick Racer already. Excellent. This might be another steering limit weekend. Just to not skid out on some of these corners. There's a couple very tempting looking inners also, which definitely scares me. Probable Icarus drop. 2 probable Icarus drops. DD's new favorite transition. Okay. Barely made it there. Oof, kind of a long map. Mid 46 is the author time. Already got Kern Cobb with the 46.9. Super stacked lobby today. Galaxitar is putting money on the line this weekend for the top 5. So naturally we have all of the good players. This is potentially the most stacked Cup of the Day lobby we've ever seen. Kern Cobb, Mackie Zoman, the top 3 in here. Yeah, everyone. All of the strong players are here today. Gonna be a pretty insane cup, I think. How much of this map can I just do on 80% or even 70% comfortably? On this one, this is an Icarus drop. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be it's gonna be a better landing if I don't crash. Even with the steering limit, I'm just using the 80% to help me not slide out in these fast corners. But even with it, I am very gently smooth steering. That's what I like about DD maps, though. I really like this style where it's smooth steer and do good lines. Northwind also likes this map, so you know that never happens, so that's a good sign. Big jump there. Yeah, pretty straightforward map. I don't think there's really anything particularly crazy about the lines here. It's just going to be about getting good at it. And it's going to make it even crazier that this is one of the most stacked Cup of the Day lobbies we've ever seen, because there's not a lot of variance in what the lines are going to look like, I think. We're going to have some really, really close times throughout the cup today. But I'm still getting faster at the beginning of this map. That's good. That's kind of the most awkward part to me. I think just trying to line up the Icarus drops in a way that you're not turning too much between them. Oh. Missed the finish. I am wondering if there's like a possible tiny inner at the end, which is what I was going for. And actually there's a few places throughout this track where there are possible tiny inners, but I don't think... none of them are super appealing. Like that one you probably don't want because you have to roll over the track very quickly. And then like that second one, can you even get down that low? Probably not. Big jump there. Big jump here. Not gonna make it. Let's see, Zoman and Kern Cobb the top 2 so far. Low 46s, it's not too much faster than I am. I do have speed at the beginning here. I could probably do some much better lines. I think I'm already doing better lines. Every run I get slightly more comfortable with the track and what the upcoming corners are. So that is helping me just do slightly better lines every single time. Oh my gosh, you could get so close to that fence on the inside. Presumably the same here with this fence. That's a little bit scarier. The fences don't like to drive too close to those, but I mean, that is going to be the best line. That fence also on the right side, the one that I hit on my previous run, I think the best line is going to be to get right up next to that. There we go, that was a smoother Icarus drop section, even with the little clip that I had. And then, yeah, most of these corners is just take it super duper inside. Only 7th, not too far off everybody else though. I assume it's just a matter of getting better lines. The beginning was really strong this time. I had that little clip in the Icarus drops. This section here I could probably be doing smoother also. That rollover was clean this time. Let's see if that helps my speed. It does help my speed. And then I didn't clip that time, so that should help my speed also. Yeah. Well, that's gonna be a decent amount of time gain right at the end. Oh, okay, maybe you can't inner. That was still an improvement with the crazy finish. Some people are talking about the inner at the end. We'll see if that becomes a thing. It's pretty risky to go for, but given how stacked the lobby is, maybe a couple extra thousandths of a second is going to make the difference. I don't know if I want to be more inside or outside coming off of that either, because you could actually chain another Icarus drop into this string of Icarus drops. But that would be going for a little bit of a wider line also. Keep hitting the trees when I go for the inner. Oof, got too close to the fence that time. Man, this is going to be intense having to optimize this track. It's a very simple track to have to optimize, which I do like. I like the simple flowy tracks. But with a super stacked lobby like this, it's going to be very tiny differences. Whether you make it, I don't know, maybe even top 8 or so, with how many good players there are. What is the deal with the top right now? Is 7 of the top 8 are previous Cup of the Day winners. Make that 8 of the top 9, just Jackie having not won a Cup of the Day. Again with the tree. One more run in the warm-up round. Maybe at the start of elimination rounds, I'll consider watching Zoman or Curran Cobb or Mackie do a run. I just kind of feel like I'm not that far, well, since I don't have time. Might as well. I just feel like I'm not that far off of them. Like it would be more beneficial for me to keep practicing. I can at least maybe see how Curran does at the end. Oh wait, this is the beginning. Everyone's at the beginning. It's not very helpful. Yeah, very close to that fence. Does not get into the inners, very inside line. Ooh, doesn't even do the Icarus drop there. Interesting. Oh, and then fails that. 51 players, crazy stacked lobby, money on the line. Let's see how we can do. I will actually be happy with a 4th place this week, even if the curse continues. A lot of very strong players here, though. 2-minute elimination rounds, bottom 4 get eliminated. I wouldn't expect many DNFs here, although there are some fences and stuff to hit. Yep, like that one. That is one of the fences. I'm still experimenting like with just tiny variations in the line, and it mainly involves getting more to the inside, getting closer to these fences. That was not at all close to the fence. Thought I was going to get a little bit better steering there. Yep, good enough rollover. I mean, I just need to get through the first rounds, but would help. We'll try this. Kern did not go for that first little jump. It's not necessarily faster. Ah, 46.5, solid time. Still only 7th. Just enough time for another run. Also, good to know where that reset point is. It is at the 3rd fence turn. Okay, much better start already. Up on my PB, and my PB has a wacky ending. This is good if I can keep this pace up throughout the cup. A little bit wide there, but not too bad. Northwind is no longer a fan of this map. Okay, solid. 46.2. 3rd place. Nice. Good first round. Just behind Kern, Cobb, and Zoman. Yeah, Northwind did DNF. Good job. Alright, 5 DNFs in the first round. Probably not going to see more than the usual 4 eliminations after this. And for my side, let's just keep improving. I think that's really what it is. Get more comfortable with being more aggressive, like getting close to that fence again, which actually tapped. Ah, Northwind got fenced also. Ooh, maybe that fence is what he doesn't like. That one does come up a little bit blind, admittedly. Down in speed, but I'd rather get a finish than stress myself out too much in the second round. Yeah, if you get airtime there, there's nothing you can do to, like, prevent yourself from hitting the fence. Maybe I can catch, like, a Kern Cobb run at the end here. Oof, man, you can really skid out on any of these turns also, and that would be a run killer as well. Who do we have to watch? Mackey's decent way into a run. Kern Cobb's also right at this fence part. Yeah, just enough time, I think, to finish this run. Still not doing the Icarus drop. Interesting. Not sure what his reasoning behind that is. I think you just lose speed because you get a harder landing with his angle. And yet he's the fastest player in the lobby, so I don't know. Yeah, and doesn't do anything crazy at the end. That was a 46-0, which is the world record. Kern Cobb, Round, Zoman, Quick Racer, Just Mackie. Tons of Cup of the Day wins between those top 5. Pandamain DNF, one of the Cup of the Day winners, knocked out in round 2. Not ideal. Yeah, 6 DNFs. Yeah, I saw Vidal call it out, and yeah, confirmed in the chat. Maybe these fences really are getting people. so smooth. And when you can just like steer a corner so well, that's so satisfying to me. Like here, I do that tiny little drop down there. I think that has to just save more speed than Kern's line. Unless I'm having to turn more after that to set up for the second Icarus drop. Ooh, that was the cleanest I've done that penultimate turn. Yeah, PB, even with a tiny bit wide ending. This is good. I was really happy when I saw it was a DD map for today because it is a style that I tend to do very well at. It's just about being consistent, though. It's hard when you have to be so precise, because the times are going to be so similar with everybody at the top that you are going to need to be precise to beat them. It does make it harder to be consistent with good runs. Don't have enough time to finish this, but I just kind of want to like keep getting good speeds at the beginning. Just so I know exactly where that line is. I think it is worth it to commit to getting less airtime at the rollover there, the fence rollover. I think it should save speed, because if you have a hard landing, that'll lose speed, and then mainly you just don't want to hit that fence also. Quick Racer wins this round ahead of Zomin and Kerncobb. Couple more DNFs. Finally, some people starting to get eliminated with times. I think this is a simple enough map that rounds are going to be ticking by rather slowly this week. Is that Icarus drop good? Is this just all Icarus drops map? Might be. Ooh, I was too far to the inside there. We'll keep this run though. Got too aggressive. That's pretty much the main part of this map. It's going more inside on every single corner. Like that's the... Ooh, that's not good. But that's the aggressiveness on this map. When I keep saying I'm getting more aggressive, that's basically the only thing I'm doing. Get closer to these fences, closer to the inside walls. Oh man, I actually did survive that. I was predicting a crash. Doesn't matter, I only get one run anyway. We'll play it safe. Not gonna flirt with that fence at all. Or this next one coming up. Gonna take nice wide lines, go up high here, don't get any airtime. First Icarus drop, second Icarus drop. Uh-oh! No! Oh, the fences. Oops. Kern with the 46-0, almost flat. Was that 5 DNFs also? No, it was 4 DNFs. Oh, man. The fences are catching out everybody, I think. That's what's happening. Only 5 DNFs in the first round, right? But they keep continuing. Well, let's see how everyone else is doing. I'm curious, I'm curious first about this turn. I only saw like one reset there. I imagine it's this rollover up here. Most people taking it pretty safe. Couple jumps. Almost everyone is doing this Icarus drop. There's like 3 or 4 that were not. Interesting that Kern is one of them that's not because he is so fast. Simple enough runs. little bit of a second crew coming in. I don't know if those are like first turn resets or something. Round a little bit off cycle with everybody else, and actually given the timing he's going to have, I think that was a turn 3 fence crash. Here's this rollover again. Still quite a high number of people without times. Okay, it's coming down now. Only 4 people without a time. Ooh, they made some very aggressive jumps. Did not work out for it all. I think that was Zoman up ahead, also being super aggressive. Kern with another low 0.0. We're probably going to be seeing 45s by the end of Cup, I'm guessing. Jawbor, final second. Does make it into the finish. So only the 1 DNF this time, and some 47s, so pretty tight times. Less than 2 seconds. Actually, it's a second and a half separating the top 28. And even in this super stacked lobby, it's still Kern Cop, who's just always the favorite. Let's jump on with Kern actually right now, because he does load in kind of late, puts him behind most other people. Let's see how many he passes. Wow, he gets so close to that fence. Oh, I think he touched that fence, but just got away with it. He just goes a pretty high line there. It is pretty safe when dealing with that fence on the right side. This is the weird part. Why is his line different there than everybody else's? Pretty aggressive on that second Icarus drop, and then this one looks like an Icarus drop, but I'm tempted to call that the DD drop because that's just what she does on all her current maps. Somebody in lime green hit the final tree. Was that LCAT maybe? Let's see how things are going down at the end. Some of these fences are pretty scary, as I have found out, as are these trees. So at this point, I think anybody left without a time has to be pretty scared. Just make sure you get into the finish. Malio the next. Yep, he will do it. Still 5 people without a time. Mackie being one of those. He's not going to hit any fence though. Queen final corner. Mackie's actually not been topping the leaderboards. That was, but they both have times, but that was Zoman and Kern missing the finish right at the end. Just another thing that could happen. Jackie, LCAT directs without times. Jackie final seconds here. Safe final corner. Will knock out Shady Nook. And LCAT did just get in, but it was not a good run. Shady Nook, LCAT, elect vault directs. Pretty much getting to the point now, this next round of 4 eliminations going to need 46s or better to make it through. So that's about 20 players separated by 1 second at the top. Yeah, seeing most people on the exact same lines. Not too surprised. You gotta make sure you're not sliding out. That does kind of make it so that there's only 1 good line for most of this track. Let's see what people do here, though. How safe are people being? Everyone on pretty much the same line there. Couple resets at that fence. Jackie does not do that first Icarus drop either. I think it's Jackie and Kern Cobb. There might be one other. Couple people going a bit wide. I saw Jobber way up at the front, flying off the track. Oh, Malio struggling with the final corner. Actually would have considered keeping that if that rock popped him into the finish on the inside. Kern once again leads the pack. Round resets last second. Kind of did the same as Malio. I think skidding out here. It happened to me once and I got away with it. But that's another place at the end of the track where things might go south real bad. It does feel like every round there is somebody among the top players that is leaving it right until the last seconds to get their time. Here's kind of the second group of finishers. Malio does not skid out this time. Pretty aggressive on the final corner. Brief second there where Jake Adjacent went fastest. That is Sad Doge, by the way. There is a name change there. Kern Cobb does take his spot at the top again. Mackie comes in with the time, 4th place. Round does need this time. Does get this time. YOLO also last second here. Oh, it's not enough to beat Mew, though. And Mew does get knocked out. I think that was Jabba, perhaps? Yeah, Jabba just right above her in 20th. Mew, YOLO, Matic D, and Lamp eliminated. And yep, as expected, it is 46's mandatory now. We're gonna watch Kern Cobb a lot, but we're gonna hop on again because he is the absolute last one to load in. We'll see if he catches anybody up there. It is just impressive how close he gets to a couple of these fences. Honestly, with everyone being like within a second here, I'm not sure we are going to see Kern catch these guys that fast. Oh, that was an aggressive line though for that fence. Kern was taking it pretty safe the last time we were watching him. It seems he might have changed his line and is not working out. Jabba is struggling with the DD drop. Quick Racer very inside and actually just barely managed to keep it within that finish ring at the end. This has become the really interesting part of the track to me, and it looked like Melio was struggling again on this corner. But we saw, this fence that I hit, there's these trees on the inside, and there's this corner that itself is just really hard to do without skidding. Right at the end of the track, that is a killer if you end up crashing there. Bunch of .2s this round, nobody touching those .0s like in previous rounds. A whole bunch of people right in the .2s though. Four people without a time coming up to the end of the round. Is Microwave's having a crash, but he is currently through. Jackie, one of the final to get a time, but she is safe. 3 people without a time. Jake Adjacent gets a time, knocks out St. Nicholas. That is Malio and Sandals coming in. Zoman, Jabba, Mac Cheesy. Everybody does get a time. That is Microwaves getting knocked out, and Galaxatar getting knocked out as well. .68 getting knocked out. And a whole bunch of .6s just barely making it through. This is what I was saying about this track. It's going to be such close times. Now into the top 16. So this is still a full elimination round. And I know because I just looked at the leaderboard. There were 5 people with a .6 that had got through that round. I think there were 7 people in total with a .6. 5 that got through. This is going to be a really tight elimination round. And this is such an important one with there being still 4 eliminations with this few players left. It can actually be one of the scarier rounds. Most people still on their first runs, although there has been a few resets, kind of just like one at every corner happening. Jabba, once again, cannot get this jump. So Sandals the first to finish on a pretty fast run. Stareb there, and Kern Cobb finally breaks into the 45s. Been waiting for that one for a while. Jackie going to get a time, not leaving it till the end this round. Jake Adjacent, aka Sad Doge, will have just enough time for 2 runs. Probably a safe time with the .2 anyway. Zoman, this is his only run, but he does get a finish. Not the strongest time, actually. Zoman Mackie, also down in 8th, is not particularly safe. Everybody is so close on this track that even the top players, with the exception of maybe Kern Cobb, the top players haven't even been that particularly impressive here compared to the rest of the pack. Mac Cheesy and Malio need times. Here comes Mackie and Kern. Kern improves that .9. Jabba, that was his only run since we saw him crash on the previous. This is Mac Cheesy coming in, needs a time, needs a snipe, not going to get it, only a 47 for Mac Cheesy. Sandals hits a tree right at the end. Malio does snipe, knocks out Mortishade, just barely into the .5s there. Mortishade, Jabba Ridal, MacCheesy eliminated. And now 2 eliminations for the next few rounds. Twelve players remaining. Let's hop on anybody. I just want to take a look at the leaderboard of who's left here. Players without a Cup of the Day win would be Sturbin, Tommy Gaming, Jackie, Meryl, and Malio. And of course, there are tons and tons of Cup of the Day wins with just Kern Cobb, Mackie, Zoman, Round, the 4 most winningest players in Cup of the Day. Quick Racer also with 5 wins, Sandals with 3 wins, Jake Adjacent with 2 wins as well. So lots of very strong players here. Quick Racer in the lead this round ahead of Kern Cobb. Sandals with the 0.5. That might be safe, but it's going to be real close here. Everybody here still has time to improve. Meryl with the 0.6 definitely is going to want to improve that. I think 0.5s are going to be necessary. The people coming in here right at the end do not have time for another run, so they have to get into the finish this time. That is, I think, Jacob Jason up there getting a time. This is Jackie getting a time. 0.48 is a little bit scary. Might just be on the safe side. Round and Tommy Gaming without times. Here comes Round. Behind Malio coming towards the finish here as well. No improvement from Malio. Round does get a good time. Puts Sandals in the elimination zone. Sandals and Meryl. Here comes Meryl on her second run. Improves, but not enough to pass anybody. Still 12th. And I think Sandals is going to be out in 11th here. So the top 10, Quick Racer with the 0.0. Kern Cobb being pretty consistent up in the 0.0s. Zoman, Jake Adjacent, just Mackie, Round NZT, Sturbin, all been actually pretty consistent around that 0.2 range. And Tommy Gaming, Malio, and Jackie rounding out the top 10. Malio's been holding on for a while, right at the bottom of the leaderboard, doing a great job to stay in it. I think this might be their first top 10 in Cup of the Day, actually. Real stacked lobby to get a first top 10. Of course, a lot of us failing early on helps the cause. Still very impressive on a track like this to be able to compete this closely with those at the top. Mackie, Sturbin, Kern Cobb do not do the Icarus drop. Everybody else does. And earlier we saw Jackie was not also. She's not in this group right now, but so I think it's about 50-50. Round, had a skid out there. I think he hit the inner and then clipped the tree, but I think that actually saved him because I'm not sure he was going to make the corner from that angle that he had. Still, the 0.5 is not going to be safe. We'll need an improvement from Round. Sturbin with the 0.3 only being 6th actually is... the times are getting real fast for eliminations. Everybody right back at the beginning of the track here. Let's see how people are doing with the rollover fence. Sturbin gets real close to it. Jackie gets real close to it, but both of them make it by. Mackie gets really close to it also. Zoman and Round gave it a little bit more space, a little bit safer. Same with everybody else, pretty much. Gave a little bit of space on this side. So, Zoman goes fastest to the 0.0. Tommy Gaming and Malio currently do not have times. Malio way off the track, not going to make it into the finish, and Tommy Gaming not going to make it with a good time. This ending is difficult. So with Tommy and Malio being knocked out, I believe it is Sturbin and Jackie the only non-Cup of the Day winners remaining. And of course, in this absolutely crazy stacked lobby we have Kern Cobb 32 Cup of the Day wins, Mackie with 30, Zoman with 23, Round with 11, Quick Racer with 5, Jake Adjacent with 2. 2 very recent ones, actually. Again, under the name of Sad Doge. People are getting better about that fence, it seems. Not seeing many crashes there. Still seeing a lot of resets on the first few corners. Looks like 5 people. Oh, Mackie clips the inside wall there, and that is going to ruin his first run. So half of the pack getting runs on their first attempts. Sterben with the 0.0 very fast. Quick Racer ties Jake Adjacent with a 114. Jackie with a 0.3, actually the slowest so far, which is crazy, the times that are now possibly being eliminated. Mackie, Round, and Zoman, 3 players with tons of Cup of the Day wins, currently without a time. Only going to have 1 run each. Mackie coming to the finish. They went too far to the inside last time, gave it a little bit of a buffer that time, and they will get a finish. 0.17, which is somehow only 5th. Zoman with a 0.26, which is actually in quite a bit of danger. Jacob Jason goes fastest, almost breaking sub 46. And we are looking for Round, who does have just enough time here. Could knock out Zoman, who has been one of the faster players here. Round is going to go for the inner. I think knew that that run was not fast. Got a time. Did get in with the 48.7. So Jackie and Round eliminated. Now single eliminations from here till the end. Jake Adjacent, Kern Cop, Sterben, Quick Racer, just Mackie, and Zoman. Top 5 do get money, also paid out by Galaxitar. Interesting spread with the load-in times. Everyone kind of separated. Mackie goes a little bit wider up into this second fence turn. Otherwise, seeing pretty much the same lines here. Kern Cobb reset. Okay, quite a few resetting, actually. Half of them have reset. Mackie, Zoman, Sterben on their first runs. Zoman goes a little bit higher than the rest. That is a safer line when dealing with the rollover fence. Everybody doing a tiny Icarus drop there, at least of this first 3. Mackie with a pretty aggressive second Icarus drop. Zoman with the most aggressive third Icarus drop. The DD drop, sorry. That is the DD drop. And it is Sterben the fastest of these first 3. Sterben with some very good times in the last couple rounds. Possibly looking to get his first Cup of the Day win. This would be one heck of a lobby to get a first Cup of the Day win. Kern Cobb has been the most consistent, though, with these 0.0s. He's going to be very difficult to beat. Jake Adjacent, without a time, that was Quick Racer with a 0.168, a thousandth of a second faster than Sterben. Jake Adjacent only going to get 1 run. Actually, the only person to only get 1 run in this round. Clean looking ending, and it does go second fastest with a 0.0. So Zoman actually the one on the bubble right now. Zoman was slowest in the previous round as well, getting the 6th place. Not often we see Zoman and Mackie fighting it out for who can get top 5. Zoman does pass Mackie for that top 5 position. Mackie looking to get him right back, though. Oh, clips the tree, not going to do it. Mackie eliminated in 6th. Unusual to see that, and Zoman just barely making it through to the top 5. Kern Cobb Sterben also improved to a low 0.0. So 3 people in the 0.0s. 0.20 got eliminated that round. This is absolutely crazy, the times we're seeing here. I still think Kern is the only one to get under a 0.0, though. Yep, that is correct. And then, again, rare to say this, but Zoman actually being probably the slowest of these 5 remaining. Everybody else seems to be able to do at least low 0.1s pretty consistently in the last few rounds. Sterben is definitely the most aggressive with that fence. I see him getting very close to it. Sterben does go for that little extra Icarus drop also. Does appear to be catching Zoman as well. That's a cleaner line off of the second Icarus drop also and into the DD jump. And yes, Sterben passing Zoman at the end of the track here. 0.1 from Sterben, 0.0 from Kern Cobb. Zoman with the 0.222. Probably not safe. Quick Racer the next to come to the finish. And once again, it is Jake Adjacent, the last person to get a time, still back at the beginning. So again, only one attempt from Jake Adjacent. Kern Cobb with the .0 is probably good. I hesitate to say anybody else is actually safe with the times they have. Zoman 2 rounds in a row has been the final player to make it through. Just looking where everybody else is. Oh, Jake Adjacent has fallen off the track. Where did that happen? Over here at the DD drop. Must have, I'm guessing, clipped over here and jumped off. So that is Jake out in 5th place, and it looks like for the 3rd round in a row, Zoman is going to be the final slowest person to make it through. Yeah, no improvement from Zoman either. Sterbin takes the win in this round. Sterbin actually looking pretty good for their first cup win. They seem to be the one that's getting faster. Kern Cobb is still scary with how consistent he is with the low .0s. But Sterbin is probably the one person here that looks like they're actually getting faster in these final few rounds. Top 4 now. Can Zoman hang on again? We will watch Zoman first, actually. Wow, so close to the inside fence there. A little bit of a wide setup for the 3rd fence turn. Quick Racer the first to reset. What was going on behind Sterbin? We also had an early reset from Kern. So Zoman and Sterbin on their first runs. A little bit of a different line there. I think everyone is starting to go for that Icarus drop. Whew, that was pretty aggressive, cutting the corner on the right side. Yep, both just with really clean lines. As I've said early on, there's basically one good line to go for on this track. Sterbin gets it better at the .0. Zoman with the .1, though. I think that's a personal best. Oh, he does have a .0, actually. Sterbin does have a .0. Still, everybody else seems to be able to go faster than that. Kern Cobb, .01. And Quick Racer up here with everybody else. Only one run for Quick Racer. He runs out wide and is able to reset in time, realizing that he did have time for that reset. Zoman gonna need an improvement also, most likely. Sterbin resets, so no more improving from him. We're gonna have to keep an eye on Quick Racer here because he is the one that needs this time. He does actually just run a little bit wider there than the others do. High nerves for Quick Racer right now. See if he can make it to the top 3, or will Zoman for the 4th round in a row be the slowest player to make it through. Ooh, that was aggressive, but seems a pretty clean run from Quick Racer. Nice inside line. Oh, he's going for the inner. He knows he's slow, and he goes for the inner. Does not get it. That seems to be the risk that these top players are taking when they don't think they're making it through to the next round. So Zoman does make it through again. Quick Racer goes out in 4th, and we've got Kern Cobb, Sterbin, and Zoman. Again, it's Kern Cobb having 32 Cup of the Day wins. Zoman having 23, Sterbin not having any, but it's actually looking like they might be getting there first. This is actually their best result, a 3rd place in Cup of the Day. Oop, the fence catches out Kern Cobb there. Let's see if Zoman gets by it. He does. Every single fence on this map is a risk. Pretty much because every single fence here is actually the fastest line is to get as close to it as possible. They are giving a little bit of leeway to that rollover fence now. I think that was the one that was catching out a lot of people early on. Ooh, Zoman with a little bit of a clip there. I think that would have slowed him down, but he is keeping this. Probably a good idea to get this banker run in. That has a 45 from Sterbin, who is still improving this late into the cup. Zoman with an aggressive finish is not enough to salvage that. Definitely going to need to improve on that .2. Let's see what Kern Cobb can do here, because this is going to be very telling as to who might have the upper hand going into the finals. .03. Kern is very, very consistent, but again, it is Sterbin who's just getting a little bit faster every single round. Zoman needs the improvement. He's been the slowest player to make it through for, I don't even remember how many rounds in a row. Not going to do it this time. Got a little bit off the line there. We do have Sterbin actually watching Kern Cobb here. Probably a good idea. Do some data gathering. Ooh, Kern does get pretty close to that fence. And Kern does reset, maybe not giving away anything that he doesn't have to. Or just wanting to practice this beginning again. So it's Kerncobb versus Sterben in the finals. Sterben's first finals appearance versus Kerncobb, the most winningest player in Zeepkist Cup of the Day history. And it's kind of the question of Kern with this very consistent low 0.0 versus Sterben, who's been getting very slightly faster with every single round. Actually, kind of a Kerncobb staple to be the one getting faster right at the end of Cup. But actually, it's Kerncobb who's not able to do it. Hasn't been able to break 45s in a long time. He does still have the fastest time on GTR. But he hasn't been able to do it lately. Very close to that fence. Pretty similar lines. Sterben did have a little bit of a differing line right at the beginning. Yep, minimal airtime there. Good job from both of them. Inside lines here. Sterben does go a little bit more for that first Icarus drop. Kerncobb still doesn't go for that one. Curious. Sterben with a lot more of a gentler jump the second time as well. Kerncobb with a more direct line. Kerncobb taps the wall though. He's still going to keep this run. It didn't completely kill the run. Wow, world record from Sterben though. 0.8. Sterben, wow, putting the pressure on Kerncobb here. Is this actually going to be Sterben's first Cup of the Day win? One of the most stacked Cup of the Day lobbies we have ever seen. And Sterben is the one putting Kerncobb under pressure here. And Kern resets! Wow! Wow! Sterben actually does it! First Cup of the Day win! Congratulations! What a cup! What a performance from Sterben, getting faster and faster through the finals. World record in the finals against Kerncobb, who so often is the one to do that. Congratulations, Sterben. Thank you guys for watching all the way through this video. If you did, I know it was a bit of a disappointing one from my end, but very fun one to watch these top players go at it. And also, if you want to see all these stats and results, I always post the link to my spreadsheet in the description below. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye!